So I've been seeing these little details manifest in the natural world, and I'm looking for this massive outpouring of God's blessing in my life as He's been speaking to us. Afternoon, everybody. Christian here. Today I have a very short prophetic word for you. It's very powerful. This week I've been going through some different things. Received an odd phone call that I normally wouldn't receive. I also saw something show up in my business world that hadn't been there before. And when I saw it, I thought, well, that's powerful. I obviously have things to do with it that I haven't thus far, but it could become very, very powerful, and I haven't seen the power of it yet, but I believe it could. Anyway, so I've been seeing these little details manifest in the natural world, and I'm looking for this massive outpouring of God's blessing in my life as He's been speaking to us, and so I'm looking for it, and I don't see it just yet. So anyway, I'm taking note of anything new that comes into my life, and I'll share a little story with you in the future about that later in this video. But while I was going through this and while I was spending time in prayer and things, the enemy was coming along, and he was trying to do what he does, and that was, there's nothing there. It's nothing's going to appear. You're stuck. You're never going to move forward. That kind of thing. So as I do each morning after I get out of my prayer time, I go spend some time in the Word and let my mind be renewed. And as I was reading through, I came across Psalms chapter 48, verse 8, and it says, "As we have heard, so have we seen." And that's the prophetic word I want to give you. As we have heard, so have we seen. When you hear the word of God in your life, and it's mixed with faith, to what measure you believe, right? It's done unto you. So a word of God can come across a group of people, and one person in that group can hear it, and the rest of the people won't hear it. Or you might hear it to one level and someone else hears it to another level, okay? To what, as you have heard it, God is saying, so you shall see it in the natural, okay? Don't let the devil fool you into dropping what God has for you. I'm reminded of the story in the Bible where an individual comes to Jesus because their child is ill and close to death. And so he wants Jesus to come and heal her. I believe it was a young woman. And then as Jesus agrees to it, and as they're moving toward his home, another individual approaches and says, "Hey, the child's died. Don't bother the teacher." But Jesus is not fazed by this news that's come against him, and continues and tells them, if you just continue to believe, you will see it. So this is the word that God is giving you as well. You've heard it. You've heard the word that you will receive this. Now continue on, because you will see it if you do not faint, okay? That's a very, very powerful word. I also want to point out one more detail here. Years and years ago, I was in a situation where my wife and I had basically had to start over. We had a young daughter at that time. She's almost graduated now. But anyway, very young daughter. And we had this situation, I think it was Valentine's Day, and I decided that I want to take my wife out for dinner because we hadn't done that in a long time. Being poor, you know what I'm talking about. So I left my daughter with my brother, and we went out to eat. And I had this whole thing arranged, and so we went to eat. And as I'm there having this meal, the beginning of the meal started, I'm there at the table by myself. I don't remember why, but I hear the Lord speak to me, "You're going to do this a lot more." And I thought, well, that's nice. I can't wait for that to happen because it's been a long time since we've done this, And so, I didn't think much more of that. And then a few weeks later, I had this idea. It was just a tiny little idea that I hadn't considered before. It was a little business idea that I had. And I thought, I wonder if that would work. And so I started to tinker with it. And a few months later, I started this website. And this business took off from that. And it ended up producing like $100,000 a year. Now that started from God's blessing. He said, "I'm going to give this blessing." And I wanted to point out to you that you might be experiencing in your life right now where you've been going through a really dark time or a difficult time, and then God said, "Okay, now it's time for your blessing, for you to receive it." Don't overlook the new little detail in your life. Press into that. If God shows something to you, I don't care how small it is, press into that, because you might have to step over a few little, maybe a learning curve or something like that, but you can have massive breakthrough in that will change your life just because of this little detail that God has now allowed you to see or allowed you to perceive in the world, okay, that you're living in. So I just want to share that little detail with you. As always, I upload every couple of days, so please be sure to share, like, and subscribe. That's how you support this ministry, and I appreciate it. God bless, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.